Greetings, I'm Rob Chappers.
I'm the captain.
And today we have some wonderful Germans in our presence.
We do.
From Duesenberg.
Duesenberg, yes. I'm just going to get this bit of string off of here. It's irritating me. So, Duesenberg, it's a brand. You know what? Duesenberg.
He made drugs in the TV series I liked a lot.
He did, didn't he?
Yeah.
Yes,
That's
crystal
Heisenberg.
meth. Oh, he was one of Duesenberg's biggest competitors.
He was.
But it was so smashed out of his face all the time that actually Duesenberg was. Anyway, so Duesenberg is a German guitar manufacturer that had been around for quite a long time. I think certainly since the sort of 70s or the 80s. And I was reading a sort of a potted history of their company the other day and was surprised to sort of read that, like many of the great guitar manufacturers like ESP and Schecter and stuff like that, actually started off as a parts company. So making their own switches and pickups and bridges and machine heads and stuff like that. And then the guitars kind of came along and sort of utilized all those parts. And they've been around for a while, and I looked at these seriously to stock these about sort of 4 or 5 years ago, and I just thought, not sure. The world was so obsessed with Fender and Gibson. Then I just thought,
Is there room for some German engineering?
And then I had another look. It was the back end of 2014. I was watching Jules Holland, one of my favourite sort of British music shows. Got some fabulous bands on there, both new and old.
And James Hetfield was playing, was he?
No, John Mayer comes on with a black Duesenberg double cat, and I thought, oh, that looks cool. So anyway, went to see the Duesenberg guys at the NAMM show, fell in love with the guitars, was blown away by the quality of the engineering on the guitars, was pleasantly surprised by the price tags. I mean, none of these guitars are, these aren't cheap guitars by any long shot, but, they stack up extremely well against some of their sort of, the famous USA manufacturers like, sort of PRS and Gibson and stuff like that.
So it's like a German kind of Gibson-y vibe, isn't it, really? But lots of Bigsby's.
Yeah, sort of, it's perhaps it's sort of Gretschy.
Do they all have Bigsby's?
No. So Andertons has been carrying the whole range, I say the whole range, about 15, 16 different Duesenberg models for the last few weeks. They're selling really well, so I thought we'd better get some down for a video. I've just picked 4 out of the range, but what would be nice is, as we go through this video, I'm sure the lovely Rory, who does the editing, will sort of drop in pictures of different models from the range so that you can see. And if you don't see one in this particular video that you like, but you see a clip that comes up, go over to the Andertons website. There's lots more information there about them. Funnily enough, particularly this one here, the gold one, is probably the most famous one, but the 2 that we've got first, Rob has what's called a 59er.
Yeah.
Now, I guess the 59er is a nod, a pretty blatant nod to a 59 Les Paul.
I don't know what you're talking about.
So yeah, it's got this particular one's got the Duesenberg trem system on it. You don't have to have a trem system on a 59er if you don't want. Has 2 humbuckers. It's a mahogany body with a maple cap. I love all the detail. You can really see where the Duesenberg parts come in. All the machine heads.
Yeah, they feel quite nice, don't they?
Yeah, not just the feel as well. Everything's got this sort of like staggered 3-tier kind of look. So if you look at the scratch plate, for example, it's got, sort of the scratch plate kind of matches up with the machine heads.
Kind of reminds me of Chrysler sort of styling.
Well, Duesenberg, of course, is a famous old car brand. And
there you go.
If you look at all of those sort of, I think I always think of that sort of, the sort of Bugsy and Malone type era where all the kind of the American cars were these beautiful, big, curvy, kind of enormously pointless cars. That's the sort of Duesenberg.
I'm excited now because you said Bugsy Malone. That's one of my favourite films of all time.
Yeah,
what's your favourite song from Bugsy Malone?
All I can remember is there's something about Lolita. She knew Lolita. What was the song? I don't even know.
Tallulah.
Lolita, I don't know.
That says a lot about you. I like, so you wanna be a boxer, wanna be the best, that's great, or down,
I'm not sure if it says a lot about me that I am not obsessed with a child sort of musical, whereas you obviously
it's the music, man. The music was absolutely fantastic.
I just remember always wanting one of the guns that fired custard pies.
Custard pies, yeah.
And always thinking that the cars were cool, where they used to literally, you could see them sort of cycling on the car. Anyway, we digress.
Tenuous link.
So that's a 59er. Now that you'll notice, what's cool about Duesenberg is all the parts are Duesenberg own brand. So locking machine heads, the trem system. I'll talk about the trem system in a bit more, because if you're a Bigsby fan but just wanted like a better version of it, then here it is. Yeah, it feels just much more secure and like it's going to go back to its original tuning. And one of the simplest but coolest things that I like, by loosening this grub screw here, you can just move the trem arm back and forth. So you'll know when we play the Fullerton, which is the blue one here, the tremolo arm's massively long. So like a tiny little amount of pressure like this has a really massive effect on the strings. But if you don't like that, you can essentially just pull the tremolo arm back through and make it a shorter tremolo arm, and therefore it sort of has a different kind of feel to it.
Innovative.
Very innovative. So the 59er, let's hear some tones from Rob's 59er.
It's got a lot of interesting tones. It's slightly darker than I'm used to on the neck position, but my favourite's the middle position. I just want to...
I thought you might.
What?
Well, we went, at least 45 seconds with no gain, so I was thinking you'd probably...
You can't do a dive bomb on it, so it's not ideal for...
Rubbish. I mean...
Or bit of crunch. Bit of crunch.
You'd be interested to know, I've lifted this entirely from the Duesenberg website, but the list of players that have sort of used Duesenberg over the years is pretty spectacular. You've got, heavy guys like James Hetfield, you've got guys like Slash, you've got right through to guys like John Mayer, Billy Gibbons, Mike Campbell from Tom Petty has a signature one, which is super cool. What does it look like? Kind of looks like a sort of a blue version of that with a speed, like a go faster stripe through the middle of it. It looks very, very cool. So we've got some great players have played them. Anyway, look, that's the 59er.
Just from a player's point of view, can I just say, These are incredibly well made.
Yeah.
I mean, it's precision to every single detail you could imagine. I mean, it's almost clinical.
Yes.
But I mean, it's perfect in every single way. I mean, even the scratch plate has just been perfectly cut and filed, and the volume knob has a little notch in it, and everything is just meticulously done.
It's almost one of those things where if you were to compare that to, say, one of the really famous kind of American brands that's not too dissimilar to this.
Well, it puts them to shame in terms of the build quality.
Yeah.
But there's something about them that I find slightly spiritless.
Yes, there's a definite feeling, I think, on another particular... Well, in fact, to be fair, all the old American brands, so I'm not even going to pick on any one, but if you take Gibson, Fender, Rickenbacker, Gretsch, you know, all the kind of early electric guitar designs, they all had their design flaws, didn't they? Or just issues where, you know, but that gave them a kind of magic character, forced guitar players to sort of overcome those kind of issues to get tones out of them.
I know where you're going with that, but I think what I'm thinking is that although this is somebody's cup of tea, it's not exactly my cup of tea, and it's made. I mean, I can't knock the quality is stunning, but it feels to me ever so slightly, and the wrong word to use would be plastic.
Yeah.
But it's something that is about this guitar that, although it's perfectly made and feels great and plays well, there's something about it that's slightly lifeless. Yeah. For me personally.
See, I think that's I think that accusation is often levelled at all the kind of it's often levelled at PRS, for example, as a sort of it's almost too perfect.
Yeah. But I might find that one of the others is different. I don't know.
I mean, certainly. It always amazed me. Every single guitar from Duesenberg goes through the Plec system, so the setup
doesn't surprise me at all.
Perfect. The fretting is quite low, which I like that because it gives that sort of played in sort of look. Yeah.
But they're not like. You're right, but that's really weird because it feels like they're jumbos.
Oh no, I think width-wise they are. Yeah,
but they're not high. But the setup is so perfect that you'd be forgiven for thinking that they were jumbo frets and you've got it all done.
And it's quite a sort of I would say it's a relatively thin C sort of profile neck, isn't it? What's it like on yours?
It's not chunky.
No, it's not chunky.
But it's not small.
Now, from one sort of, very kind of classic looking guitar in the 59er to something much, sort of more unique. So this is called the Caribou, and no idea where the sort of the reference to a isn't it a North American kind of enormous deer? Isn't it?
It is.
The Caribou comes from, but it looks this and the Double Cat look similar, and the Double Cat is the one that I saw John Mayer playing. They do this kind of, the Duesenberg thing has got this very retro colour thing going on. So if that's your bag, again, there'll be some cool sort of pastel-y blues and greens and stuff. But if it's not your bag as well, there's blacks, there's sunbursts, there's, they even do a pearly top one, which looks really cool. Anyway, so now this has got the pickup configuration that's perhaps more synonymous with their biggest selling guitar, which is the Star Player behind me.
Is that a P90 then?
Yeah, so it's P90 and a humbucker, both Duesenberg made pickups. And one of his claims on his website is he was the first guy to ever make a P90 in a humbucker housing. So again, what was one of the early things that people would buy a lot from him, because you could very simply fit a P90 into a guitar that was routed for a humbucker. So tones wise, I've got this running into
just slightly turn. Yeah, there you go.
I've got this running into a Fender Deluxe. There's the giveaway. It's a P90. Hum, no hum, but lovely sound. great. Love that. Both pickups together. And then the humbucker on its own, which is a bit gnarly. Don't know where that came from. So it's a great sound.
I reckon if you had one of these guitars and you played it for 5 years, it would increase in playability and sound to the point where it would just become better and better and better. Because I think it's just finished so perfectly that that's part of the issue for me.
It's funny. I was saying that too, without wanting to name drop. I had a jam with Paul Reed Smith recently. I don't know if you've... I know, and videoed it, and then I had a bit of lunch with him. And I kind of said, do you know what I would buy in a heartbeat? Custard pies.
Custard pies, yeah.
And is if he did kind of like almost, not a relict PRS, but like a VOS. A worn one.
Yeah.
And I was kind of... Because a friend of mine has got like a 10-year-old... Maybe not as old as that. It's
like
a McCarty.
Yeah.
And it's not damaged, but it's played in properly.
It's got spirit.
It looks mega.
Yeah.
And you're probably right, so. But again, with a little bit of drive from my Stax Master pedal here. Yeah, it looks great, nice and light because it's got half the body weight's been sort of cut out here. Very cool guitar. So that's a Caribou, that's a 59er. They're just a very, very cool range of guitars for anybody that's thought, I've got a Strat, I've got a Telly, I've got a Les Paul, what else is there? Well,
BC Rich.
Yeah, absolutely. What you need is a 7-string
Diamond.
BC Witch Dean. Which one do you want?
Oh, no.
Okay. Now you will notice with this that the tremolo arm is at its sort of full extension, so a tiny amount of wobble makes a massive amount of difference.
This is a massive guitar.
Yeah. So this is almost what is this going to be like? It's I guess it's probably harking back to the sort of some of the double cut sort of Gretschy kind of guitars. It's got a split single coil at the neck here and a humbucker at the bridge.
It's like a 4-arm, that is.
Yeah, I know, but do you notice that you can, see what I was saying, you can...
Oh, yeah. This is a really nice guitar.
It's ethereal, isn't it?
For
that
me,
kind of tone.
this is way more... I don't know, this is what I wanted the other one to be like.
Do you know what I think? The issue, I think, with the 59er is it's trying too hard to be another brand of
You
guitar.
might be exactly on the money with that.
Whereas
this
the
is
Star
very much...
Player, the Fullerton,
and I like the fact
Caribou.
that it's like... Because you wouldn't expect to be able to do that on this, would you? But
well, I just think it's going to
access.
suit all those beautiful chordy things that you were playing. I think it just needs a tune, doesn't it?
what is I wobble this and it'll be in tune.
Okay.
Watch this.
Magic.
Okay, let's do.
me a song. It's what it needs. This guitar needs a song. Otherwise, it's all a bit disjointed.
Well, that was lovely. It speaks to me more.
Yeah,
this one's got a vibe to it.
One of the guys at Andertons just bought one of those. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, it's.
It does say a lot when the staff buy a guitar.
Yeah.
Very nice.
In the words of James Brown, you just got to get into it, man.
You just
got to get into
it. Like a sex machine.
Wow.
Moving, doing it.
So, last but by no means least, this is the Star Player TV. So this is the one in the range that has tons of different colours, tons of different players. It's the most popular one that they do. And I love this guitar. So it's a sort of a semi-solid humbucker P90. You can have it with or without this trem system if you want to. And I just think it sounds wonderful. So we're getting this with a tiny weeny bit of distortion on it. Oh, that's
yeah, tiny wee bit of gain. Well, I think the best thing about this entire demonstration was the little bit of whammy bar stuff that Lee did there.
Yeah, all I can really say is that, you know, you've got to get yourself into get yourself into a zone. And sometimes I think if if your guitar is a Strat or a Les Paul or something like that, you can pick up another guitar that's quite radically different like this, and you've got to find your sort of self and find your soul and just sort of go. And sometimes stuff that you would play on a Strat or a Les Paul just doesn't translate to other guitars. And then sometimes you go, oh, hang on a second, I found something here, and the magic happens.
The magic happens.
The magic happens. Magic. So I've had fun. Duesenberg are my new friends, and I hope we have a long and wonderful relationship together and sell lots of guitars to people like you. But yeah, go check them out because they're beautifully put together instruments, and I'm sure.
Have you shown the back of that, by the way? Because the back is stunning.
Back is very stunning.
Really nice, flamed, mapley looking thing.
I think Rob and I also, we've decided as well, we're probably going to end our love affair with SLR cameras in this and go back to using some really high quality camcorders.
Well, I guess...
Because then we can run up to the screen and show you stuff without
Yeah, we don't have to stay where we are because the depth of field doesn't have to be a difference.
But that's another story for another day.
It is. Here's a plectrum.
Here's another one.
I'm Rob.
And I'm the captain.
Bye.
Bye. British.